So I did a thing. A very financially irresponsible thing. I've bought a new watch. And it's actually been a really long time since I've bought a new watch, which is only making me more excited about this new watch. I didn't need this. I probably should have saved my money. I already have a watch that's quite similar. So I bought the new Tudor Black Bay 54. And this really couldn't be any more hot off the press or impulsive. I just have such a weak spot for Tudor. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brittany, and on this channel we just talk about watches. I'm currently recovering from jaw surgery, so if you're wondering, why is this girl mumbling so much? That is why. This isn't how I'll always be talking. I probably should be resting, really, but there's just too many exciting things happening right now and happening this week to rest, and I just gotta get on here and talk about it. Which leads me to this watch, the Tudor Black Bay 54. This watch was just announced by Tudor on Monday, and my purchasing experience for this one has been really uncommon for me. So on Wednesday, my husband said, "Shall we pop by the AD? So we can go bug them about all the new Watches and Wonders releases, like normal, healthy people do, of course." Our fabulous AD was kind enough to show us the new Tudor releases that they had in, and instantly, this is the one that spoke to me. This whole purchase for me is so out of the usual of what I usually do. Watches are a very considered purchase for me. They are expensive, so I usually take some time, mull it over, spend a lot of time researching and obsessing before I decide to buy a watch. But there are a few reasons why this one particularly spoke to me. So for one, the wearing experience. Getting it on the wrist for me, it was like the dive watch I always wanted, the perfect proportions I always wanted, but I never thought this watch actually would ever exist. And two, if you're a Tudor lover, this watch is chock full of nods to the past and little Tudor Easter eggs. So take my credit card, good sir. I'll have it. So looking at some of the specifications, the Tudor Black Bay 54 has a case size of 37.3 millimeters in stainless steel, a lug-to-lug of 45.8 mil, a thickness of 11.9 millimeters, and 200 meters of water resistance. Now this is what really stood out to me. So I have the Tudor Black Bay 58 in the blue, which is quite similar. So it's obviously extremely similar looking, but in 39 millimeters. But the wearing experience of the Black Bay 54 is entirely different. You can really feel the 2mm size difference, and with the thinner, more compact case, it almost feels like the Black Bay 58 refined. I feel like that could be an entire video in itself. Let me know if that's something you guys would want to see. So a dedicated video comparing this to the Black Bay 58, comment down below and I can make that happen. But I'd describe the Black Bay 54 as a very vintage wearing experience with modern specifications. I think a lot of men will feel scared of the 37mm case size, and I wasn't sure about it either, but I'm really surprised by how well it wears. I'd still recommend this for a 6 and 6.5 inch wrist size, maybe even a 7-inch wrist. Here it is on my 5.5 inch wrist and my husband's 6.5 inch wrist. I don't think it looks out of place on him at all. Inside the Black Bay 54 is the COSC certified manufacturer caliber MT5400, giving you 70 hours of power reserve. It is functionally the same as the Black Bay 58's MT5402 movement, just slightly smaller in size. But for me, in making this impulse purchase, it wasn't just about the wearing experience. If you follow this channel, you know I'm a massive Tudor enthusiast, and this watch is just the most beautiful nod to the past. So the Black Bay 54 pays homage to Tudor's very first dive watch, the Tudor Submariner, reference 7922. Released in 1954, so just 1 year after the Rolex Submariner, the 7922 had a 37mm steel case size, lollipop second hand, and a symmetrical timing bezel with no graduated hash marks. Comparing the Black Bay 54 to the 7922, aesthetically, all you're really missing is the Tudor rose and smiley, self-winding text at the bottom. I said earlier in this video that this feels almost like the Black Bay 58 refined, and there's a few things working together to make it feel like this. So for one, Tudor have now fitted their watches with a smaller winding stem, causing the crown to sit closer to the case, and this crown is far smaller. But that makes sense because the Black Bay 58 is paying tribute to the 1958 big crown, so it makes sense. And the other thing is the hands, so the lollipop versus the snowflake, and just the overall thinness of the handset really elevates this watch. It feels less chunky clunky to a watch and a little bit more refined. Looking at the bracelet and clasp, the Black Bay 54 is fitted with the Tudor T-fit, which is such an improvement from the Black Bay 58. This clasp gives you 5 positions of on-the-fly adjustment. One thing I was worried about on my little wrists was the T-fit clasp being just a little bit too long, but that hasn't been a problem for me at all. Leading us to one of my 2 complaints I have. The bracelet. Staying true to its predecessor, the Black Bay 54 still has the faux riveted bracelet, which I know bothers so many people. For me, personally, I'd prefer it without the faux rivets. But I've said it once and I'll say it again. When it's on the wrist, you will never think about the faux rivets. You will never notice them. Your eye doesn't go there. It's just when it's off the wrist and you're looking at it, and you think, it'd look a little bit better without the faux rivets. That's just my personal opinion. And my other complaint is the no graduated hash marks between the 0 and 15 on the bezel. And this is one of those things, once again, it is Tudor being true to the original, and like, I'm not a diver. I won't ever use these hashes. I think I've just gotten so used to seeing them that I kind of miss that little bit of asymmetry when it's gone, you know? But these are the only 2 complaints I've found so far. I'll let you know if any more come up. Hi guys, Editing Brittany here, and I'm here to let you know one more complaint I found with this watch. Because the crown is so small, it is so annoying to unscrew and screw back in. This is just me after a long day of filming this watch and always having to set the hands back to 10 and 2, so I've had to do it constantly today. And it's much more annoying than the Black Bay 58, but it's just something that comes with a smaller crown. It's to be expected. And I've had another thought. I wouldn't say this is a complaint, just more of a wondering. I'm really surprised that Tudor released this year. Like, if it's dedicated to a 1954 timepiece, why not release it in 2024? Why 2023? My best theory is maybe they'll do something quite similar to the Black Bay 58 and release a really cool new color variation next year to celebrate 70 years since this watch existed. I don't know. So if you're not quite sold on the color, or if there's something that's kind of intriguing you about it but you're not fully into it, maybe wait to see what they release next year, because they could do a cool, fun anniversary thing. Anyways, I'm just so happy with this new watch. I said it at the start of the video, but it's true. This is my perfect dive watch. If the ghost of Hans Wilsdorf came to me and said, "Brittany, let me create for you the perfect dive watch," this would be it. Anyways, if you have any questions about this watch, stick them down below. I'll try to get back to all of them, or maybe answer them in a different video. And I'd love to know as well, have you guys ever had an impulse buy like this? Let me know in those comments so I don't feel like the only child with a credit card. Until next time, guys, hit him with the Patreon song. Ooh, ooh, this is a broken jaw Patreon song. Yes, mumbly Patreon song. Thank you to the Pope tier patrons. Thank you. Thank you, Pope tier patrons. Yeah.